Hi, my name is Adrian Jimenez and I'm taking SDI FTH212-53128. Today's July 21st, 2024. My professor's name is Richard Mansar. This is Strike of Fire course, week 2 assignment. I'm going to show that I'm wearing safety glasses. I have 2 mags, one empty, one with dummy rounds. I'm going to visually and physically inspect the chamber to verify that it's empty and that the mag well is empty. Describe the safety processes you use to prepare for the assembly process and those you used throughout the assembly process. How did you avoid losing components? So there's, I used obviously safety glasses for any springs that I lost control of, and if they were to eject towards my face, it would hit my safety glasses for one. You can use a metallic, a magnetic, or a plastic parts box or tray. If I use one that's non-metallic, I lay either white or blue paper towels down so that I can put the parts on top, so that I can see the contrast from the parts because they're black as well. And that way it doesn't slide around. I have everything stationary and doesn't roll off my workbench or my countertop as well. Evaluate the tools that you use for this project and describe any tools that you believe might make the assembly process easier. How did you avoid causing damage to your various components? So there's an array of tools that you can use in building a Glock or Palmetto PSA dagger. One being a armorer's block. If you don't have that, you can use a roll of tape to assist in driving the pins. When you're installing the pins, it gives you a basis where you can either drive them out or drive them in. The use of a hammer, brass, nylon, so you don't cause any damage to the pins. There are various picks that you can use to install certain springs, or mag release spring, or a flathead, a long skinny flathead screwdriver you can use to install the pins. There are various types of punches that you can use. You can use brass, steel, Teflon. I have this that was CNC'd from the gun store or the Glock store. There's a punch right there. This is the tool that you can use for installing the firing pin bushing sleeve inside the firing hole. Here's to install it, and this is a threaded side that you can use to remove that if there was any damage or any burrs in that sleeve. The front sight tool, which was provided, there are different types. The Glock store has them, Amazon has them. This is from the Glock store, and it has the front sight nut removal tool, a punch all in the middle so you can get a better torque if you wanted to. Forceps in assisting, and it's angled so you can get in and install that mag release spring into the slot inside the wheel well because it's a tight fit. And so some of the brass punches or the Teflon punches, when you're installing some of the pins or the sights, utilizing brass or Teflon or a sight removal or installation device helps with mitigating any damage to your sights or to your pins. Evaluate your readiness to perform work like this in the future. Do you already have your ideal setup? If not, what would you change? If yes, what makes it ideal? So some of the Glock store aftermarket CNC parts that I showed for the punches, the firing pin bushing, this bushing sleeve installation tool and removal tool are vital to my workbench for working on Glocks. Having different types of vices with soft jaws or felt or cardboard, so that you don't mar up your slide or your frame. Brownells has a dovetail punch. They have a small one for tighter, smaller dovetails like the rear sight, and then they have larger ones for other firearms that are a little bit bigger in diameter or space of a dovetail. Using your completed firearm as a demonstration piece, perform a function check on the firearm while also identifying when the variation steps in the cycle of operations are occurring. So, yet again, one more time, showing that it's empty. Nothing in the chamber. Magazine's empty. No live ammo. I have 2 magazines, one empty, one with dummy rounds. So I'm gonna pull the trigger without it pushing in the safety to see if it fires. It doesn't fire. I push in the safety, pull the trigger, it fires. And you can see that it's set to the rear from firing. I'm going to take the slide, rack it to the rear while depressing the trigger to hear the audible reset of the trigger. Okay, I'm going to do the reset. There's the reset. I'm going to pull the trigger. It fires. I'm going to reset. Try it again. Doesn't fire. Press the safety and the trigger. It fires. I remove the empty. I'm going to install the one with the dummy rounds. I'm going to lock it to the rear. And I'm going to show and allowing the slide to move forward slowly as to simulate it picking up and chambering a new round. It picked it up out of the slide, out of the magazine, and it's chambering the round. Okay, it's chambered, it's locked, it's flush. I'm going to try without depressing the safety. I'm going to try to pull the trigger, nothing. Safety, trigger, pull, fires. While keeping the trigger depressed to the rear, I'm going to rack. And then I'm going to let the slide go forward so it's resetting my trigger, picking up a round, and chambering another round into the chamber. Okay, here's the spent round that ejected. Here's the audible. It's reset. Pull the trigger, and then it's to the recess. So I'm gonna rack it to the rear so it can eject, so it can show that it's ejecting. Ejected. And it picked up on the round, so I'm gonna show that it picked up on the round. And you can see it's chambered. So in this step, I'm going to measure I have my gun in a vise. I have the magazines. I'm going to use this, I put a piece of tape so I can mark my length of barrel. I'm going to insert it all the way in until it reaches the breech face. Using a pen, I'm going to mark. I'm going to measure. 4 inches is the measurement from top to bottom. So my barrel length is 4 inches. Part 3. After conducting outside research, articulate how the twist rate in shorter barrels may differ from twist rates found in longer barrels, and explain why this is the case. So in my research, I looked up Berger bullets, and the twist rates in a shorter barrel compared to a longer barrel Depending on what the weight of the projectile is, the composite of the bullet, and shapes will affect what your twist weight is going to be, whether it's coming out faster in a shorter barrel or in a longer barrel. Normally, if it's a full metal jacket, it's going to spin faster in a pistol round, vice a lead round or a hollow point. When it comes to shapes, it's either going to be a short projectile or a slender to a point, and those are going to affect the different speeds of the twist weights. So in a short barrel, it's going to come out fast because it's burning the propellant faster in a shorter length of a barrel. In a longer barrel, it's going to spin longer depending on the length of your barrel. It's going to have time to burn that powder for the duration of the length of that barrel, and it's going to stabilize your rounds that are slimmer, longer in the barrel twist. So it's coming out faster because it's spinning the bullet. But as far as which is better, longer or shorter, they both have their purpose. So I don't believe it one is better than the other. My references that I used was Berger bullets, the lectures. And thank you, and have a great day.